Hey guys, welcome to another Savaged Army, guys. Want to say thank you to Michelle Testhot 735. Much appreciation to the support here to the show.
Alright guys, this is the most ghettoest bathroom in the world. Oh, there we go. Oh god. Jesus Christ. Alright guys,
This
is the
was
most
pretty
ghettoest
freaking disgusting, if you ask
bathroom in
me.
the world. Oh, there we go. Oh god.
In the HQ, guys, trying to nail out some pieces of work.
Not a happy story at all, but you know, sometimes in our lives, it's the things that really the hurt. That is what creates the biggest impact. It would be great if humans could respond better to pleasure than we do to pain, but we don't. We respond better to pain than we do pleasure. So September 2011, I had my own 2011. My own September 2011, my beautiful baby boy took his own life. And he was only a week off of his 18th birthday. And that was a pivotal point for me in my life. That changed everything. It pulled back the covers on all of my complications. At that point in time, I had been a hoarder for a very, very long time. I was a good hoarder too, not just a little hoarder. We're talking spectacular. We're talking 33 cubic meters of stuff. So, you know, they write movies about the type of hoarding I did.
Grasp the things that we're saying. I was that person at one point in time. I couldn't even answer a questionnaire from a life coaching person. I had no voice. I never smiled. I had panic attacks every day of my life. Like, I was at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. And in my book, I really talk about the steps that I took from living in self-doubt. I literally was survival mode every day. I would pop my rubber band to try to come back in the moment because I just could not wait until it would be time to go to bed at night.
Alrighty, guys. Thanks very much for stopping by. Until next time, keep it savage, guys.
But yeah, it's not too often, guys, that we run into people here on the show that's part of the show that come to certain milestones here on Savaged Unfiltered. It's very rare because I've had some personalities and people part of the show that's kind of come and gone. Past producers. I used to have a gentleman that worked with me up in Atlanta. No longer with him, but it happens. It's life, guys. It happens. Everybody, increases their opportunities for other things in life, and I get it. I'm not mad. I'm not going to have a hissy fit. I'm not going to throw a temper tantrum. It is what it is. Producer Eric up in Atlanta doing some other things. I got a really good friend of mine that I've known for years here, Shaky. That's it's been part of the show since I've was merging from Atlanta over to Orlando. So it works out better that way. Sometimes people have to go to their respected places in life. It's not too often, guys, that we run into milestones here, and these certain milestones that I'm talking about is a gentleman here that's been part of the show going on a year now. That's right, guys, a year.
Savaged.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
There we go again. More technical problems. We live in the 21st century. No!
Savaged Unfiltered.
The only reason I know this is because I lived under tyranny. I lived.
Oh, shut the fuck up! You're a fucking.
Your host, Michael Gardner.
Proper fashion at the proper time.
Like a Hellcat.
Hey guys, we made it. The author of his book, Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You, and his second book, How to Write a Book and Get It Published, guys. This is Joseph M Lenard here. It's coming up just about a year. He just hit a year, actually, last week. So I want to say thank you very much. I wasn't expecting him to kind of hold on to, this exciting journey. We were going to do like, maybe 1 or 3 episodes with Joseph, but, we hit it off. We kind of feed off of one's energy, one's presence, and, he seems to enjoy the show here on Savaged Unfiltered. I want to bring him on here. Joseph M Lenard, buddy. It's been great having you on here, man.
Well, first let me translate the Michael speak. What he really means, and he kind of glossed it over, is that nobody can stand Michael's shit for more than 6 months.
Oh God, yeah.
Before they say, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. No one can understand my shit. Like they get upset with me and they're like, oh no. Fuck you, Michael. No. We're done with you. But Joseph, it's been great, man, since having you on. You've been on for like about 200 and some odd episodes. I know.
It's like the college thing. Yeah, animal. Yeah, you're right. Every time I think about it, I think of the Chevy Chase thing.
Yeah.
They should look at it like that, like with the Chevy Chase Animal Farm and, how everything goes bonkers and stuff in that movie. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah. And again, this is
don't have the math correct, but I know it's over like 235, pushing 2. Like, what was your first impression of Savaged Unfiltered? Because I never asked you that question, and I was always glued to that one question. I always wanted to know, like, what your first impression, of Savaged Unfiltered. Actually, piggyback to the old show, Patriot Angle podcast. Like, what was your first impression of the show?
That's exactly where I was going to go with it. But before I go into that, I was hoping for a gold anniversary Rolex that I could pawn for money, but I guess I got to just settle for my own episode.
Well, it's in the works. I don't know if I can afford like a $10,000 gold watch for you, Joseph, but we'll look into like getting you like a award or something.
Yeah, maybe a $50 Timex. At
yeah,
least.
We'll send you like a $50 Visa gift card or something.
Although we know Sauce is the one that needs the watch, right?
Oh, he needs the watch, you're saying?
Yeah, because he's always late and he's always screwing up the time zones. So we need to get him a digital watch with the time zone differentiations. But yeah, no, I was going to mention, we really first hooked up when you were doing the Patriot Angle. And you were very gracious to have me on to talk about terror strikes coming soon to a city near you.
Oh, yeah.
And we did well, and I thought the interview went great, and you obviously did too, because then you invited me back to say, hey, let's do maybe a 4-part series. And then after that, you invited me to be longer-term co-host on Savaged Unfiltered, and I really appreciate that opportunity. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy being here. So, yeah, I haven't abandoned you, and I have no intention of doing so anytime soon.
God, Joseph. But, the thing I really enjoyed, guys, since having Joseph on the show, because it's been great. Like, we've got into so many different types of content on the show over the course of the year. When I first brought Joseph on, I mean, literally, we were talking about nothing but, politics. And then, I had to talk, Joseph, with then, producer Eric of the show. And then, of course, Mackenzie, my former girlfriend, no longer part of my life anymore. But, Mackenzie and Eric, I was talking both back and forth with them when I was up in Georgia. And I was like, we have to make this thing more than politics. I mean, literally. I mean, can you imagine what this show would go if we bring in other people from different backgrounds?
Savaged Unfiltered.
Hey guys, Michael from Savaged Unfiltered. Guys, check us out soon as we will be launching
the Savaged Army merchandise online storefront.
You know, and then we, right, Joseph, we brought some authors on, some doctors, some porn stars we've had on the show. I mean, we've had everything on this show.
All the different various opportunities to branch out, because yeah, I've been involved in politics since 1978. So, but I love movies and I love music. So I love the opportunity to branch out beyond what I normally engage in, which is politics. So two of my favorite shows we've done are the movies and the music episode. Those were a lot of fun. And of course the other one we had just the other day where we did it kind of Graham Norton couch style was a lot of fun, going into food porn at the end. We'd have never thought we'd have gotten there from where we started.
And I heard her, and I was like, honey, I get you, and you're right. You know, we never argue with each other. When they're right, one of us, we never try to defend. It's like, I see your point, and I get this has been interfering with our truly being able to be love in the love-making space.
Yeah, I see Michael Fenster here on the left of us. He's got some views and some thoughts racing. Michael, do you have anything you want to chime in with? If you want, man, just feel free to.
Yeah, no, it's just really interesting for me to hear that, and thank you for sharing that. But to kind of draw some parallels to some of the things that we do, we engage in some mindfulness and mindfulness-based eating awareness techniques and things.
But that was the point. When you have a bunch of people on at once, that additional dynamic and interaction, you never know what rabbit hole will open up for you to go down.
Oh, yeah. You know, I want to talk about this one thing here, Joseph. This one episode I've had on here, because, guys, I want to label some episodes. I wish I can label all 200 and some odd episodes, but that's probably like a 12-hour episode, and I don't have energy to. Most likely, Joseph is the same way. We don't have the energy to talk for 12 hours, guys. I want to get back to an episode going back to earlier this year, season 4 here, episode 412. We're talking about Jason Whitlock, or Whitlock. I can never pronounce his fucking name. Jason Whitlock is fearless. Tremendous episode, Joseph. Yeah. What'd you think of that?
That got a lot of hits. That was a great discussion because, I mean, we talk about others who the cancel culture go after because, I mean, they do the same to us. They try to attack me. Again, because I call myself a Christitutionalist now. Christian constitutionalist. So they hate both. That I'm both Christian and a real Christian, not a fake one like Biden or Pelosi. And I even coined the term nincompoop. Yeah. You know that. For Francis, because he's more interested in spreading communism than Catholicism at times, it seems to me. So I am a Christian constitutionalist, a Christitutionalist, trademark pending, I like to say. And so, they try to cancel me before, and then of course when my book came out, they attack it because it's not just about terrorism, but about American fascicrats, that term I coined, destroying us from within.
Yeah. Guys, we can't forget about earlier this year, because the reason why I'm mentioning this year, because literally, guys, a lot of episodes from this year really took Savaged Unfiltered to the map here. Myself, Joseph, even Sauce, which is basically traveling. Old Sauce is up in Utah somewhere. The guy's always traveling. I think he lives in like Airbnb at his own house. But we got to go back to Nate.
He's like a roving vagabond. He's like a roving vagabond or a hobo. Is he hopping trains everywhere?
I was gonna ask, like the Sauce, since Amtrak and like the regular freight trains here probably hop onto a regular freight train because they seem to be like trying to get by with the mighty buck. But I don't know, Joseph. I mean, go figure. Maybe we should ask him that when he comes on next.
Yeah.
There's our favorite daughter.
We wanted to thank America's #1 motorcycle insurer for saving us money. Mara, your parents are
exactly like me. I know, right?
Well, cherish your friends and loved ones.
Let's roll, Daddy-O.
But I want to go back, guys. I want to go back to episode 411, Nations of Conflict and Tensions with Joseph here, with this crazy, delusional Alexandra Grover, the guy that was like, I'm a Trump guy. He voted for Trump twice, guys, twice. And then all of a sudden, when Biden started giving money to his country there in Ukraine, he became a Biden guy. A Biden guy. Remember that, Joseph? Yeah. Joseph had fun arguing the hell out of this guy.
Yeah, that's if he was ever a Trump guy to begin with. But, he made some good points, but at the same time, also, there was big holes. And it was obvious the only reason he's a Biden guy is money is corrupt through the corrupt Biden organization, corrupt Zelensky in office. Again, but don't get me started. Putin equally as corrupt as the two of those combined. That's a separate issue. But the corrupt money flow, some of it was finding its way to his pocket. So it's not like
can't forget about.
Yeah, he wasn't standing on principle, and like I defend Ukraine on principle. To the point of getting myself in trouble, because there are, I hate to say it, but there are some people like had Trump derangement syndrome. There are some people who have Biden derangement syndrome. So they attack the Ukraine situation just because they want to support Putin, a tyrant, over 100 years history of Russian oppression of Ukraine. History matters, people. But they want to side with Putin just so they can be anti-Biden. I'm always about principles, not personalities here. So, even a stop clock can be right twice, as, the old adage. I've got an online article on the Liberty Beacon where I defend Whoopi Goldberg one time.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen that article, guys. You got to go over to the libertybeacon.com and then also beforeitsnews.com, guys. Tremendous articles that Joseph's putting on both of those websites. Usually, like just about every day, right, Joseph? There's a new article that pops up between the both websites.
Yeah, I try to average at least once a week. Liberty Beacon, not Liberty Beacon. Yeah. You don't want to. It's The Liberty Beacon, all three words, thelibertybeacon.com. Liberty Beacon is somebody else's copycat site. You don't want to go there. Thelibertybeacon.com. I have committed.
Thelibertybeacon.com, guys. I made that mistake a couple of weeks ago with Joseph. And he was like, no, don't go to Liberty Beacon. Don't go to that shit. It's called
Right.
But guys, we're going to go through some episodes here. One of favorite episodes that I'm Oh, once a week, huh?
Yeah, every Saturday at the Liberty Beacon. Before it's news, it's whenever I have I feel I have a whim, whenever I'm inspired. So it could be once a week, it could be 3 times a week, it could be twice a month. But thelibertybeacon.com, I'm committed to a new piece every Saturday there.
When I asked this guy and his family there, I said, what about healthcare? And they said there is a clinic fairly close by for anything emergency that have to go into Ulaanbaatar. But it's there when they need it. I've been in the mountain villages in the Himalayas, and I go to a small village. Monetary, they're poor, but that's the way they live. The kids go to school each day in school uniforms.
Yeah, you heard it, guys. Every Saturday you can find some pieces that Joseph writes. Tremendous, guys, tremendous. But today on the show, guys, we're talking about some of my favorites, and hopefully they're your favorites too. And if you have some favorites that we're not listing on the show, guys, email us savagedunfilteredpodcast@gmail.com. Or, throw us a comment on social media, whether it's Rumble or, Facebook or Instagram, even TikTok. I'm getting a lot of amazing comments on TikTok. I think Joseph has some fans on TikTok because every now and then I'll see like @JLeonardDetroit. So awesome stuff. Thank you very much, people that tuning in on TikTok, blowing right away. Up to about 2,045 followers. So thank you very much. Yeah.
I wish I could see what was on TikTok. I've got only 2 videos up, and I'm locked out of my account. So I'm locked out of Twitter on J Leonard Detroit. I do have J Leonard Author on Twitter. But I'm J Leonard Detroit on most platforms. But yeah, Twitter still perma-banned, locked out, on appeal, not going anywhere. My original J Leonard Detroit on Facebook, gone too. Locked out of TikTok. No idea what's going on. But yeah, like Gab or Getter or Retalk or MeWe, Spreewee. I'm on 15 platforms. You can virtually Truth Social. You can find me virtually anywhere. But yeah, if you tag me and Michael on Instagram, I definitely see that.
Joseph, I have to ask you, okay, and the listeners are probably going to ask you the same thing, or most likely, hopefully this comment comes through. I know it'll probably come through TikTok because they ask me everything on TikTok. They're probably going to ask, Joseph has 15 platforms. Joseph, how the hell do you have the space on your phone still with 15 platforms?
Well, I do my social media from my laptop, yeah.
I was going to say, it has to be on the laptop.
Yeah.
It can't be on the phone. I don't think a phone can hold up to like 20 or 15 apps. My phone only holds about 12, I believe. But,
yeah. I have Instagram on my phone. I used to have Twitter when my J Leonard Detroit account was active, but that's basically it. Yeah, I do my social media using the Firefox browser. In fact, you could go to tinyurl.com/socialmedianeversurrender, all together. tinyurl.com/socialmedianeversurrender to see my social media hints, tips, and techniques, tricks. Open them all on one browser, and then you can kind of almost cut and paste from one to the other, the same thought. And you're reaching different audiences. Yeah, there's some overlap. I mean, I've got some of the same followers on each platform, but really I can hit the same point 15 different places and reach, a million different people over the 15 platforms.
Joseph, speaking about followers, Joseph, basically, we were talking like off the air, Joseph and I think we have like probably about maybe 15 or 25 conversations a single day, off the air. But anyway, Joseph was telling me about this platform a few months ago, going back probably about 3 or 4 months ago, called Retalk. And talking about followers on Retalk, Joseph, this platform is psychotic sometimes. Some of the comments that come in through Retalk, oh my God. Like, I thought this was like a conservative platform, but I'm looking at like lunatics on this platform. It's crazy.
Well, it's like I like to say about Before It's News also, because I used to write for Red State. I left that. I went to Before It's News. It's like any site, right? You have some great people and you have some kooks, right? Before It's News has got some really good writers on it, and they've got some really freaking nut jobs there. So,
oh God, they're crazy, Joseph.
It's not an issue of the platform. It's who you choose to interact with there. There are legitimate people and there are fucking nutcases. Same thing with Retalk is actually out of the UK, but they are an open free speech site. So yeah,
Yeah.
There's some great conservatives, and there's some real fucking liberal troll nut jobs there too. But
Yeah.
like any place, you got a block button. Use it.
Yeah, there was a comment that I put out. I think it was on Retalk. It was either Retalk or like TikTok, either one or the other. I think it was both. One comment came in from Retalk. I put in like, please help us pray to end abortion. Okay, and as soon as I said that, not even 5 minutes, there's like 5 comments that come in, and they're like, well, what about rape? Okay, we're talking about. We're not talking about rape. That's on another level of the conversation. I'm talking about women and men that just want to have sex out of the whim, and then all of a sudden, like a month later, the woman's like, or the guy's like, fuck, I don't feel like being pregnant anymore. I don't feel like being a father or a mother anymore, and then just has an abortion. Yeah. I mean, that's entirely different. You know what I mean? Entirely different.
You're right, Michael. That is always the left distract, distort, deny, deflect. That's always their go-to. Anytime abortion comes up, rape, incest, or life of the mother, guess what? That is always less than 1% of all abortion cases. We can, all right, I'll meet you there. Fine. Rape, incest, life of the mother exception. We can still save 59 million babies out of 60 million babies. Fine, If I could
guys,
save 59 million babies, I'll give you that exception. But that's their distraction.
But see, Joseph, this is exactly, folks, we've talked about this on the show many, many times. A key topic on this show, countless of times. But yet people don't seem to understand it. I'm not just talking about it. You can hear this on Bongino. You hear this on Michael Savage. You even hear this on Tucker. Okay, all of us, modern Americans, conservatives, Republicans, however you want to label us, we're constantly talking about these issues, but constantly people are like, they want to put words in our mouth like, oh, well, they must be for, other things. And no, folks, abortion, I'm for saving babies because babies have a right. They're humans.
The 14th
they're still a fetus, but
the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. And again, I have 2 pieces on thelibertybeacon.com about the left twisting language. Again, it's always Alinsky.
They love twisting it.
Alinsky style personal attacks. Change the topic. Never honestly discuss the context. They always have to twist language to try to make it mean something else or be meaningless because they can never win an honest discussion. If we talk about abortion, in 99% of the cases, they've always used to say safe, legal, and rare. That has always been a lie. The Texas case showed that. Texas put in Women's Health Initiative, and same thing with Proposal 3 last year here in Michigan. They terminated, so they could terminate more babies, the safety restrictions. So they always used to say X amount of women died in back room hanger abortions before Roe v. Wade. While the guy who made up that stat admits to making up that stat, but yet the left still repeats it. More women die today in legal abortion clinics due to lack of regulation and concern for safety of the mother than ever died before Roe was legalized. But again, they cannot deal in these facts. They don't want it safe, legal, and rare. They want it anytime, any place, any reason, by anyone with a coat hanger to perform it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Guys, thanks for tuning in. This is the Savaged Unfiltered. This is what we talk about. This is exactly what we talk about. We talk about key issues. Sometimes we go off the rails on some topics. Sometimes we don't talk about politics whatsoever. We talk about maybe somebody's life or personal journey. Guys, we just had, not too long ago, a woman from Australia, which we're going to have for part 2, guys. Bear with us. We were supposed to have her the other day, but her schedule, and I mean, she's a keynote speaker, guys. She speaks for TEDx. She speaks for the Sumerian Centers of Australia. She sometimes comes in the States and she speaks for the American Red Cross. I mean, she's all over the place. So bear with us, guys. She's going to be up for part 2. We're going to have part 2 with Miss Charlene Lynch coming back to the show. And then we were just talking to another woman, Joseph. So, I mean, it's not always about politics. I mean, we were just talking to a comedian, actress
two
what was
comedians
it, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we've had two comedians
Yeah,
on
Sadia Caron, yeah.
Sadia, that was
Yeah.
a great, I
Yeah.
loved that interview. It was a lot of fun. I thought Kevin was a bit snobbish, but hey, see the episode.
Yeah, he was a little out there, yeah.
But
Whoa! This is the all-new Doritos Cool Ranch Papadilla from Papa John's. Bold Doritos Cool Ranch flavors with our signature flatbread style sandwich for the zestiest flavor mashup ever. Only at Papa John's.
trying to change it. And these left-wing people, it's never about really the racism, the sexism, or the whatever they talk about. It is all Marxism. It is all fascism. It's all about them having power and control.
He was like, I mean, like the guy just sat in his fucking chair and he was like, he did the typical little, face expression.
Yeah, but discussing abortion today was the first time really in quite a while that we went into the deep, hard-hitting politics. We've been off politics for several months now.
Yeah, we haven't talked about politics in probably about 3 or 4 weeks. I think I'm having politics withdrawals.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit.
We would insert some comments here and there in the other interviews and such and probe the guests' politics a bit. And they all seem to be pretty conservative that we've had. So, and also tease throwbacks to other episodes you need to go back and watch. But yeah. It's good.
Speaking of throwbacks, Joseph. Yeah. Speaking of throwbacks, let's go back to episode 3 last year on season 3, dated October 17, 2022. I'm going to start putting the dates in today's episode so that way you understand where the hell we're talking. We're not just saying these fucking episodes and I'm making them as I go, guys. Huge Savaged Unfiltered podcast library available on iHeart and Spotify with most of Joseph more or less on the shows more than Sauce because Sauce is all over the place. I wish I had Sauce on the shows more, but he's a traveling guy and I appreciate when he can come on, But this is dated back October 17th, 2022, episode 336, labeled Comedy, Books, Politics with the Therapy Twins. Now that was part 2.5 because we already had him on part 1. And then we had Lance Hilsinger, that was an author that wrote a tremendous book about parenting, about, child protection, which basically just gave us, 2 books. I mean, he gave me a book and then also gave Joseph a book as well.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that episode? Let's go with Lance first. What would you think of Lance?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that one up because that's an instance of where he's kind of left of the aisle. But pretty moderate. So we got into good discussion of family issues. The left likes to talk about root causes. And in that episode, we got to seriously discuss, even though we didn't necessarily agree on everything. So that's, an example. Hello, Clueless Nation. No, we don't just pander to conservatives here. We have leftists on, too, and that was one. And that was a very good, deep, serious discussion about the welfare and well-being of children Something we talked about abortion already. Yeah, I mean, Michael and I have a deep care and concern about protecting children, which of course then there's the whole other drag queen garbage about pedophilia. I mean, the left literally preying on children. They want to remove all protections. In Michigan, Proposal 3 last year, as part of that Abortion Act, eliminated statutory rape laws. It is now legal for adults to have sex with children in Michigan. That's
Joseph,
pathetic.
if I may chime in, you just talked about the whole abortion thing. Here in the state of Florida now, there are a lot of liberals and FASCICRATS and regular radicalized Democrats that are saying that Ron DeSantis wants to chop the ear off of Mickey Mouse, because you know how they're going to that whole woke shit, Joseph. Oh, Ron DeSantis is going to chop the ear off of Mickey Mouse. What kind of shit is that? No, he's talking about something entirely different. He's talking about them being corrupted and an evil company, and they're trying to establish their own fucking government over there in Reedy Creek. I hate when they fucking spin shit, Joseph.
No, it is. It's always lies with the left, always out of context. They can't be truthful. Now, I will defend Disney's original. As a conservative, as a constitutionalist, I believe in lower taxes and incentives to help businesses get off the ground. So I'm all for the original deal Disney got, but it should have had a sunset clause. You don't get all those perks and privileges forever. And DeSantis is doing the right thing. You are a multi-trillion-dollar corporation, companies that have the new patents on these things, and they're making lots of money with it, as opposed to hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin, which is long off patent and inexpensive and actually effective.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're talking about from Politico, Joseph.
You no longer deserve these special carve-outs and privileges that no one else gets. That time is come and gone. And they still on the left say DeSantis put forth a don't say gay bill. It doesn't say the word gay anywhere in it. It has to do with age appropriateness and not peddling sex on grade school children, whether it be gay or straight. It has no business being discussed in grade school. That is a family value issue.
I want to, guys. I want to get off the serious note for a minute. I want to, because everybody always thinks like, like Savaged Unfiltered is always serious and this and that, guys. We are, guys. It's about addressing key issues. When it's necessary, and I believe that Joseph can agree to that too, including Sauce. But I want to go to a more of a funnier part here of the show. I want to go back to October 11th last year. Which at first I labeled it a mega show, which it still is, guys. It is a mega show. But it was episode 333, labeled How Cool Is This? With Brian Reitz and the Therapy Twins. Now, folks, the Therapy Twins, I mentioned just briefly here with Joseph. That was part 2.5 because we've had them on for like 3 times now. But that was the very first time we had the Therapy Twins on. And, oh, God, what a fucking roller coaster that episode we got. I mean, we probably only heard them for like the first maybe 3 minutes. And then they had some issues, which we have issues sometimes on the show. It's networks, they're the greatest fucking networks in podcasting today. But they have glitches here and there because, people in the, in the app and, the different websites are constantly putting in the updates. I tell them all the time, leave the fucking updates alone. It looks great. Stop putting the fucking updates in it because you're fucked up the stream sometimes. But, this episode, guys, with Brian Reitz, Joseph, I thought this guy was okay. But remember him? He was the guy that was like the comedian, but he wasn't really a funny comedian.
I remember that one. Yeah, it's again another one of those really interesting ones because it is off the wall and odd. And yeah, was the newer budding stand-up comedian, and he didn't really have much of an audience presence. We'd be asking him questions, and it's like, yeah, no, it's like, really? I don't know about whether I'd bother to see your stand-up act because you don't seem to have a very good, participation, interaction, improbability here that you're demonstrating.
Yeah.